On today's episode of DAPA.DANIEL, I am going to be doing another driving every street series. This is going to be over Plano, Texas. This is going to be a 13-part series, and then we'll be going over the Dallas North Tollway here shortly. Here's the main entrance to Legacy West. They have the townhomes at Legacy Town Center. HOA in there is $335 monthly. They currently have an active 2006 3-bed, 3.5 bath, 1,990 square feet, listed at $579,000. All right, this is the entrance to Deerfield. Also, no amenity center within here. And you can see in front of us kind of the look of what these homes are like. So that makes sense. Howdy y'all, what is going on? Today I am gonna be doing another driving every street series. This is gonna be over Plano, Texas. This is gonna be a 13-part series over driving the main roads of Plano. Now this is not gonna be every road, but these are gonna be like the main ones that you're gonna find yourself if you're gonna be living over in the Plano area, the Frisco area, Allen, McKinney, finding yourselves kind of driving along these roads. I'm gonna point out some neighborhoods, I'm gonna point out some areas that you guys might go enjoy, but we'll be driving from the west side over to the east side of Plano, basically all the way from where I'm starting is 121, where the JCPenney headquarters is. It actually just reopened here not too long ago. Kind of over, and also over where Legacy West is, and then we'll finish over off of K Avenue down off 75 Highway. So like I said, we're going essentially from the far west side of Plano, and then we're gonna work our way all the way over to the east side. The first neighborhood I'm gonna talk about is the Villas at Legacy West. That has an HOA of $2,300 annually. They currently have an active in there, a 2017 3-bed, 5-bath, 3,055 square feet, listed at $1,324,000. That neighborhood is actually down towards the left on Communications. On the left side is the Legacy West development, and then we'll be going over the Dallas North Tollway here shortly. Here's the main entrance to Legacy West. If I turn left now, and then over to the right is the shops at Legacy. So two main big developments that are on the new side of Plano. Once we get over Preston Road and past that, it starts turning into the old side of Plano, where there's some homes, you know, dating back to 1980s, 1990s. So over on this section, on the west section, you're gonna have a lot of new stuff. So you got the shops at Legacy here. Over to the right, you got plenty of nice restaurants, nice stores, a little bit nicer stores and restaurants over on the Legacy West side, but there's still a good amount of stuff over here at the shops of Legacy. We're currently going over, the next road that we're going to be going over is Parkwood, which is another street that I'll be doing later on in another series. First, I'm going to be doing all the streets that run from like west to east, and then I'm going to be doing the streets that run from north to south. Over here is like the main big business park of Plano, a lot of headquarters around here. Legacy also runs all the way up into Frisco, and now it's going to be connecting all the way up into Prosper. So essentially, you could take this road and not even have to get on the tollway to come enjoy these things if you are going to be living further up in like the Frisco area. But yeah, over to the right is the campus at Legacy. Tons of businesses all around here. You got Legacy Commons also over to the left, bunch of different office parks, business parks, and then some small medical facilities along here as well. The next road that we're going to be coming up to is Preston. However, over in the shops at Legacy, before I forget to mention it, there are some townhomes in there. We didn't drive past those, but I'm trying to make this video a little bit quicker. It's going to be a long drive talking about 17 neighborhoods, but I'll start going into some of them once we get a little bit further down. But they have the townhomes at Legacy Town Center. HOA in there is $335 monthly. They currently have an active 2006 3-bed, 3.5 bath, 1,990 square feet, listed at $579,000. So that's what you could potentially get for a townhome over in that Legacy shops of Legacy section. Be able to go enjoy those things where essentially you're just like a few steps away from going and enjoying restaurants. You're not kind of just like stuck at a townhome. You have some of these communities and master plan communities where they have townhomes in them, but they don't have like any restaurants or things like that. Personally, I think I'd rather be in a townhome that's located in like a mixed use development, kind of like the shops of Legacy, rather than being a townhome where it's more of like a master plan community. because you're essentially paying, you know, a pretty expensive HOA either way, and I'd rather be around something that, you know, offers a little bit more amenities than sometimes what the neighbor, I don't know, I wouldn't use a playground in my neighborhood community, but I would go to the restaurants and things around there. So it's located in a pretty good area for some of the townhomes up on that northwest side of Plano. All right, now we're going over Preston. Turning right actually would take us down to George Bush. That's about a 10-minute drive down that way if there's not any bad traffic. Over to the left is some of the children's health medical facilities. There are also some dentists, and then you also have a Lifetime Fitness around here, and then there's also some apartment complexes as well. It looks like they're doing some construction here. This apartment complex over to the right is called the Villas of Preston Creek, and then the next neighborhood that we're going to turn into is actually Deerfield here over to the left. Deerfield actually does, like, every winter, I think at the beginning or middle of November, they start doing their holiday shows within here. I actually have a video from a while back going through this neighborhood when they were doing a holiday light show in here. But that's something that this is, you know, really unique with this community over to the left. Now, homes in here are going to be older, 1980s, 1990s, very early 2000. And then for the rest of this video, it's going to be a lot older looking homes. So if you were expecting to see some like new construction, new vibe, new things like that, well, we passed all that stuff behind us. All of the rest that you're going to see is a lot of older infrastructure. Now, there might be some new looking type of business parks and things like that, but for the most part, it's going to be a whole lot of bricked up homes and not really any like stone, stucco, things like that. Just a lot older neighborhoods within here on this side. All right, so we're gonna hop into Deerfield. I'll drive around that real quick. In our first neighborhood to drive through, it's just that the first couple of neighborhoods that I talked about there were just like smaller townhomes. The villas at Legacy West are not really townhomes, but they essentially are, with not really having a not really having a lot line and being kind of stacked up right by your neighbor. All right, this is the entrance to Deerfield. And then across the street is Wellington at Preston Meadows, which I'll talk about here in a second. All right, into Deerfield. A majority of them are going to be two-story homes, and then you're going to notice with these, the trees are a lot more grown out within this side of Plano, and you're going to notice that with a good amount of these communities over here. I will say the one downside is that probably when the storms hit around here, there's branches all over the place. So within Deerfield, they have an HOA of $850 annually. They currently have they have a few actives in here, but I pulled out one, a 1996 4-bed, 3.5 bath, 3,825 square feet, listed at $700,000. And this community does have some small green spaces, not huge green spaces, but you're gonna have something like this where it's like a small pavilion, and then there is like a main amenity center with a pool area more in the center of the neighborhood. There are some newer homes. Deerfield's been building for a pretty long time, so you do have like a different age range of homes within here, but on the further side, Deerfield North, is where some of the more new homes are along. The older homes are kind of along this Legacy side that we're currently driving in. But Deerfield is one of the biggest communities over in this section, going to be one of the biggest communities that we drive through as we go along. All right, let me hop back over into Preston Meadows and show you guys that, which was down this way. All right, we're back on Legacy, and then I'm gonna go into Preston Meadows. This is Wellington at Preston Meadows. The HOA in this neighborhood here is $225 annually. And then there's currently no, oh wow, they're just going for it. Oh wow, we almost witnessed a wreck. But hey, that Honda Civic wanted it, and she got it. All right, so here is Wellington at Preston Meadows. So gonna be the same type of look. Now, I feel like over in Deerfield, the trees are like a little bit more grown out going over into the street. This one only has, it seems like, you know, pretty big trees in it, but not as grown out, or not as many trees as that Deerfield community. It makes the homes feel a little bit more hidden. You're gonna have pretty good shade. Now, on the back side, you're not gonna have the big trees. Maybe a couple of the homes have some trees within them, but most of these trees are gonna be in the front yard. You're not gonna have a whole bunch of space within the backyard of these communities. Now, you still have a good enough amount of space for like a pool, and you know, a good amount of these homes are already going to have pools in them since they're a little bit older, and people have just gone in and redone some of the inside of the homes. I mean, a lot of these homes are going to need updates on the inside, but a good amount of them are going to have pools, but they do have room for that. And then they also have alleyways as well, so you're not right on top of your neighbor. You have a little bit of space, and these are sitting on about the same lot sizes. All right, I'm gonna go to the right, and you can see Deerfield has a little bit more of like a grand entrance with their stuff, but it is pretty cool, like in the winter time, driving around that community and seeing all the Christmas lights. Me and Victoria go around there a good amount of times and just check out the stuff. They also do carriage rides as well with like a horse and take you around. You can also do that as well. All right. Now we are going over, what is this, Archgate. Also, pull out a map right now, maybe a Google map or something. I'll start pointing out some of the streets I go over, and that way if you're following along, you can kind of keep up with me. Then over here is going to be Preston Meadow North, which is going to be on this left side. I guess we can hop into that real quick. And then Fairfax Hill is down to the right there. But let's hop into this one. This is Preston Meadow North. And then within here, there's not going to be any HOA. And then there's also no actives. A good amount of these communities are going to be rentals because they don't have any HOA. So investors usually like doing that, so they don't have to worry about renting out the community at any point. Majority of neighborhoods are going to have something within their HOA that says like, hey, you either have to own the home for a certain amount of years before you can turn it into a rental, or there's like a capacity where they will only let like 5%, 10%, whatever amount of rentals within a certain amount within the community. But most of these homes are going to kind of look like that first neighborhood we went through, Deerfield, when it comes to this. All right, so there is like a walkway along here, but this is like where the main walkway of Plano is. This over to the left, you can see that there's this huge power line structure that runs basically all the way down Plano, north to south, and then they put a walkway in between the trail. So there is a pretty long trail that goes through a good amount of Plano, running north to south, and it kind of follows along the power lines that they have behind is this another church? Yes, another church in front of us. Is Fairfax Hill. Fairfax Hill has an HOA of $165 annually. And then they do have an active in there, a 1990 4-bed, 3.5 bath, 3,460 square feet, listed at $675,000. On the left is Bradford Estates. Not going to hop into that because it's essentially still going to look like Preston Meadows North. But within there, there's also not an HOA, and then there's none active right now. But when I was on the MLS looking at like what was active there, I mean, just about all these communities are going to have active leases right now, ranging from like on the low end $3,000 to $5,000 a month, depending on like if the inside is like upgraded. All right, we're going over Coit Road now. Wembley Court is on this right side. We'll hop into this one. This one's going to have an HOA of nothing. And then we just kind of patch the commercial place along Coit and Legacy right around there, but a lot of older feel with those commercial developments in there. They do have a grocery store too along there. Okay, this is Wembley Court. No HOA in here. Like I said, active. I had to pull one of those out. A 1993 4-bed, 2.5 bath, 2,594 square feet, listed at $524,000. Now, the communities that I usually go around, you know, if you guys been on my channel and watching my videos, I'm doing like new construction, new master plan communities. Now, these are master plan communities in the sense of like, there's a bunch of homes, they're in the size of a master plan, but not really a master plan in the sense of like amenity center and tennis courts, basketball courts, and some of the things that you're now seeing, dog parks. Just keep that in mind as we're going through here. If you are looking to buy in something like this, you're not going to really come across many of the neighborhoods with like an amenity center and things like that. There are some communities that we'll be going by that are going to be, as we do this series, that are going to be around the golf courses over in Plano. Plano has a good bit of golf courses around it. Across from us is Winford Ridge. That one's got no actives, and then the HOA is nothing in there as well, but we're going to keep driving down. And then the next place we're going to go through is going to be Forest Creek Estates, but before Forest Creek, over to the left is Briar Meadow. That one has an HOA of nothing and also has no actives right now, but I did see some leases in there from like $3,000, $4,000 going on. So, and it kind of runs all the way down to here, as you can see this fence line. All right, Forest Creek Estates is coming up here. It's going to be larger homes within here. There's not really, I mean, there's like a little waterway. I mean, it's not even a river. It's kind of more of like a built-in waterway. But I guess that's where they get the name Forest Creek. All right, we're gonna drive here. All right, we'll drive around this neighborhood, but these ones are a little bit bigger than Deerfield. They're gonna be more of like the estate feel, but I still feel like they're kind of similar to what Deerfield has to offer with some of their homes. Forest Creek is gonna have an HOA of $225 annually. And then they're gonna have an active within here in 1985, 5-bed, 4.5 bath, 4,945 square feet, listed at $1,175,000. This one's gonna have older, more expensive homes within it, a little bit more popular than some of the other neighborhoods that we've gone through. I mean, Deerfield, Whiffletree, Forest Creek, these are kind of some of the popular ones. The other ones I've talked about aren't really as popular. With stuff. They've got like a volleyball court set up here. I don't know if I'd be playing volleyball in a driveway. That seems like that would hurt. All right, now the next neighborhood we'll go through is Whiffletree. And that one's gonna have an HOA of nothing. I mean, most of these communities that are gonna be like 1980, 1990, early 2000 builds, I mean, if they do have an HOA, it's gonna be $100 to $300 annually. When it comes to these older communities, the neighborhoods don't really put a big price on the HOAs, which that's obviously now changing. If you guys have been watching my videos for a while, and these new communities are having HOAs of $1,600, $2,000 because they're putting so many homes in them, and they're putting pretty big amenity centers. If they don't have an amenity center, they're at least around like $800 or $900 annually from what I'm seeing. All right, this is Whiffletree. Now they have an active in here, a 5-bed, 4-bath, 4,242 square feet, listed at $900,000. But as you can see, once again, the same type of curb appeal as a majority of these other neighborhoods that we've been going through. All these neighborhoods kind of just all bleed together. There's not really any difference between them. When it comes to stuff, I mean, when it comes to like how the roads are built, the topography, it's all gonna be pretty flat and just kind of row by row by row of homes. Around and we'll get back on Legacy, and then we're about halfway to 75 highway. That's where the video is going to end today, but we have like about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more neighborhoods to talk about. So yeah, a little bit more than halfway through. This next neighborhood is going to be the Trails. The HOA in here is going to be $250 annually. Here's what these homes looks like. These are going to be a little bit smaller on like 50-foot lots. That last neighborhood, those homes were sitting on like almost 70-foot, 60-foot lots. But these are going to be a lot smaller. You can kind of see this home right in front of us. A smaller square footage. You're going to have like under 2,000 square feet within this neighborhood. Very small, a quiet little community. Homes not as big. Even the 2-story ones are a little bit, they look like a little bit tighter on the land that they're sitting on. And then There's also not going to be any type of amenity center or anything like that. On the main roads of like Coit, Independence, Custer, as we go across, at each intersection of Legacy, there is going to be some type of like shopping, mall, and fast food restaurants. The nicer restaurants are going to be over in that Legacy West section that you're going to want to go out and enjoy. But I would say, like, if I wasn't having to hop into each neighborhood as we make this video, and I was just driving from like the beginning of Legacy up on that west side where we started all the way to 75, it would probably take about 20 minutes to do that, depending on how well you hit the lights. All right, going back onto Legacy now. Across the street is still Whiffletree, that neighborhood that we just went through. We have some more commercial developments within here. Tons of different stores within here. You also have a Kroger, Wells Fargo Bank, a gas station, a Bank of America, an auto repair, quick car. Ooh, there's a Chipotle. Going over Independence now, and then we'll be going into Hunter's Glen Estates, which is going to be over on this right side. Hunter Glen Estates. Within here, there's not going to be any HOA. They do have an active 1984, which is that home that we just passed, that I'm talking about right now. 4-bed, 3-bath, 2,945 square feet, listed at $649,000. It looks like within this neighborhood, most of the homes are going to be like a 1-story, with maybe a couple 2-stories, but it looks like most of them are going to be 1-story, just driving down this road from like first impressions. Alright. I feel like these homes got an even older feel to them than the other neighborhoods that we've been going through, but I guess that makes sense since the one I pulled up was in 1984, so you're going to have 1970s, 1980s within here. This is Quarry Chase that we're passing over. And then the next road that we're coming up to here is going to be Custer, which there's a gas station at this intersection. Not as many commercial developments as that last one or the last 2 neighborhoods that we've gone through. They also built in this new like townhome community, apartment community within here. I think these apartments are pretty expensive, but this is like the newest apartment complex in here. That's called Legacy Square. There's nothing like for sale that you could buy. It's all rentals within this community over to the right, but that's one of the newer ones. All right, this is Hunter's Ridge. And then within Hunter's Ridge, there's not going to be any HOA, and then there's also not going to be any actives. Also, no amenity center within here. And you can see in front of us kind of the look of what these homes are like. But a bunch of smaller 1-story, 1,800 square foot homes within this neighborhood. All these neighborhoods, though, they are going to have actual fenced in. There might be a couple, depending on where the home is located, but you might have like some of that see-through railed fencing, but I would say like 99% of these homes are going to be like, you know, the wood fencing with privacy. All right, and then across from us is Legacy Hills. That neighborhood's gonna look the same as this Hunter's Ridge one. Legacy Hills is not gonna have an HOA. They do have an active within there in 1989, 5-bed, 3.5 bath, 3,370 square feet, listed at $574,000. And that's over to the left there. A little bit bigger homes. I would say you did have some of those 1,800 square foot homes. I would say Legacy Hills is gonna have a little bit bigger homes. There are a few communities I haven't touched on. But like I said, I'm kind of touching on the main ones, the good ones that I've either have shown homes in with some investors that I'm more familiar with. All right, this is West Creek Estates. For this neighborhood, it's not going to have an HOA. There is going to be an active within here in 1990, 4-bed, 2.5 bath, 2,816 square feet, listed at $496,000. Let's flip back around. All right, that's going to be all the neighborhoods, but let's just keep driving all the way. We're about to run into like more apartment complexes once we get closer to 75 Highway. That's usually what happens. Is like along George Bush or along Dallas North Tollway or 75 Highway at these intersections is usually we're going to have more of the apartment complexes and bigger business buildings rather than like the communities like this. And then West Creek Estates kind of runs this whole line here down Legacy over to the left, and then it ends where this creek runs through. And then here's those apartment complexes I was talking about. This apartment complex is called Garden Gate Apartments. And then we're coming up on Alma, another intersection. Now Alma could run still. All of these roads, you're going to be able to essentially go down to George Bush. We're just on the far north side of Plano. So being in this area, you know, if you were like commuting over into Allen, McKinney, Frisco, this would be like a good area to live because you're close to that. If you're having to commute down into like Richardson, Addison, Carrollton, this area is maybe not going to be as good, and you maybe want to be a little bit more south so you can be off the George Bush tollway. But also keep this in mind too. If you live more on this side, on 75 Highway, it is going to be cheaper to travel down to Dallas. If you live over here, you're going to probably most likely take 75 more often than taking the Dallas North Tollway. So traveling down 75 is going to be cheaper for you. So the families living over here, the people living over here that have to commute down into Dallas, it's going to be a little bit cheaper than maybe where we started on that west side, where it's going to be more of, you know, driving down the Dallas North Tollway and hitting tolls at about every city that you kind of pass through. All right, so more apartment complexes over to the left. They have a few parks along here, some baseball fields. This is Infield Park over here, but we probably passed. This is like the biggest park that we've passed. The other parks we've passed are like smaller playgrounds or like little walking trails. But Infield Park is going to be like the big one. Like if you have like a kid in sports in Plano, if you have a kid that's in Plano sports that's doing baseball, or I believe they have like some soccer fields as well over there. And then we'll be coming up on 75 Highway here soon. Which we'll just actually cross right over, but there is some more commercial developments along here. This next road that we're passing over is Chase Oaks, and then you'll see some of the commercial developments, and then we'll actually go right over 75 Highway, so it's not a bridge over for 75 where we kind of go under it. We are actually going to go over 75 Highway. This is Anniston that we're going over now, and then this road here is Central for 75 highway, and now we are crossing over. 75 highway is gonna be running underneath us, and then that is gonna do it for Legacy over in this Plano side. This ends at K Avenue. Here, this is the road that we're running into, but I'm gonna actually turn into this. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna turn into this one because, guys, I mean, what better way than to end the video with a GTR? Oh my goodness. I know it's been written. I'm gonna get a GTR at some point, guys. It's just, I have to let time catch up to me. It's already written, you know? It's already gonna happen. All right, that was a good way to end the video and seeing that GTR. That was pretty cool. Okay, so that's gonna be the video. That's gonna be Legacy. Now, I'm gonna try to do this over the next month, driving all these streets. Hold on, let's just watch the GTR leave. Oh, wow. Like I said, I'm gonna try to do this whole series fairly quickly over this next month. It's gonna be about 13 roads. So here's the first one, Legacy, and then I'll kind of work my way down. So hope you guys enjoyed that and seeing what Legacy and some of the neighborhoods and what that looks like along here and trying to get a better idea. If you guys are on a home search, if you're looking to buy in Plano, if you're looking for investment properties, please send me a text. I have all my information down below. Appreciate you guys watching. Other than that, peace out, y'all, and take it easy as always. Thanks for checking out my channel and watching that video. I got more videos floating around here. If you're in the market to buy or sell real estate in the DFW area, contact me, Daniel, at the Home Expert Team. I will be happy to answer any of your questions. Besides that, bye.